All right. Lottery part two. So now when I bought these .com, I bought 50 states of lottery.com. California State Lottery, New York State Lottery, Illinois State Lottery, Kentucky State Lottery, New Jersey State Lottery. You name a state, I had. Hawaii, Alaska, I had it all. Even if they didn't have a lottery, I had the lottery, just in case they came up with one. And the reasoning I had when picking the names, I wanted it on a billboard that you see when you drive on the highway and you see a billboard as an advertisement. I wanted the name to be in a way that you could read it and understand it. Because back then, in 1990, people weren't used to reading .com names. Like Uber is a perfect name because it's a very small name. You can put it on any billboard and everybody can read it and remember it and so forth. And that's why it is what it is today. But New York State Lottery, it's harder. I put dashes in the name, like New York and then dash state, or New York State dash lottery. I did things like that, so you could clearly read it on a billboard, and that was my rationale. But I own all 50 states, and I own different combinations, and I brought the NSA and the CIA and the FBI and the White House and the Secret Service. I brought them all into my house when I threatened Bill Gates. I brought the names, and I don't think I had them 3 days. I didn't have New York Lotto at that time. I did not buy that at that time, so this is not included that. That came later. This is like August. I bought New York Lotto in December of the same year. And I threatened Bill Gates, and I threatened Bill Clinton, and I threatened Saddam Hussein. I said an eye for an eye, because at the time we were fighting in Iraq. I was like, an eye for an eye, I'll take out Bill, but I'll take out Saddam too, just for good measures. And I had nothing against Saddam. I think Saddam was railroaded by our government. I think Saddam did a damn thing wrong, Sure, he was ruthless, but the country ran a lot better when he was president than anything we put in replacement of him. Now it's a shithole, but they fight every day. But Saddam kept them in line, and they were actually a country. So these people need power. They need force. Like Russia, a weak president in Russia gets squashed. That's why you need a Putin in Russia. But the problem with a Putin in Russia is what he's doing in Ukraine, Take the good with the bad kind of thing. But anyway, I threatened Saddam, and that wasn't enough. I didn't care if it worked out or not, but I didn't think it would. But I don't even know if he even knew that I did it. But I know Bill did. Bill Clinton and Bill Gates knew I threatened them. And I had the Secret Service and the FBI at my house to prove it. And, the point is, that's what brought the NSA into my life. And they're right here now, and they're listening to me make this tape right now. And there's no fantasy that they're not, I covered my TV because the TV is a big TV screen where they were looking at me. I'm not looking at TV. The thing doesn't even work as a TV anymore, but it works as a camera, and that's what they were using it as, and I covered it. But, I shut down New York Lotto when Powerball Mega came into. I was just saying with Bill Gates. That's how the NSA was introduced to me. They might have known about me before the threat. I don't know. I assume they didn't. And if they did, they didn't see me as a threat. But after the Bill Gates thing, they saw me as a threat. A loose cannon kind of thing. Like, what's he going to do next? They didn't know. And to this day, they still don't know. And I went after Putin, put a $2 billion price tag on Putin's head, stuff like that. So, it's just, that's what I do. I go after the big boys. I go after MS-13, I go after the mob, I go after the president, I go after them all. I go to the Supreme Court. I don't give a rat's ass who you are. If you're up there, you are up there for one reason, for me to bring you down. And that's what I do. I bring you down. And that's my only job. So that's why most people that are up there are afraid to death of me. Because they know that they're on my target list. You know, who to hunt for? They're on the list. You know, you're on a blanket in the city, sitting on the street. You don't even reach my radar. You know, I'm trying to help you, but I'm not trying to bring you down. You're already on the ground. I can't bring you down. But you know, for them to walk away from me, which they never did. After Bill Gates, I was married to the NSA. I couldn't fart and they didn't know it. You know, they had a special satellite created just to watch me. You know, and you know, I have security around me at all times. You know, you can't get near me unless they don't know about it. So, I mean, they're very loose. You wouldn't know they were around me. They're my neighbors. They're stuff like that, so you wouldn't know. But they're there. They're watching. They watch me. They want me to think they're not watching, which, you know, it's hysterical. I'm psychic. I'm clairvoyant. I'm telepathic. I can pick up on all their waves. I hear their microphones. I hear them, what they do. There's helicopters. I got like 5 helicopters above my house right now. You know, so, you know, I know they're there. That's not a question. And they're trying to figure out how to stop me, you know. And they can't. And it's, I think the quicker they come to realize they can't stop me, that they'll let me do what I'm here for, you know, which is end the world. End their world. I'm here to end the world, you know, and start a new one. But they're afraid they're not going to be part of the new one, and they're trying to protect everybody in this one. And this one's a dead dog. This one doesn't have a future at all. So, and whoever has to die, has to die. Doesn't bother me. It is what it is, you know. It's like when you have roaches in your house, you don't cry about the ones you step on. You know, it's like, yeah, I got one. You know, and a lot of people like roaches. You know, they like roaches. You know, when you have roaches in your house, they work like a team. You know, when one runs, they all run, and they all run in the same direction. You know, you get people that run away from you, they all run in the same direction, and they all run together. So, not much different. Which is why when they cloned humans, they use roach DNA, because it grows faster, and they're easier to manipulate and control, because the roach is even though it doesn't seem it, it's a very well controlled bug. The whole colony works together and works like a termite hill or an ant hill. But those DNAs don't work for what they wanted. That's why they use the roach and not the ant or the termite. So, but they have the same mentality. You know, the termite mound does everything like a well-oiled machine. An ant hill does everything like a well-oiled machine. And so there's a roach colony, and that's why they use them in cloning. And they multiply like crazy, and they, you know, a baby roach is like an adult roach in like 2 days, you know, so that also helped them. And that's why when I see an alien, I call them a roach. Ah, you fucking roach. You know, that's what the aliens are, they're roaches. Bug, I'm like, you bug. And they act like bugs, and they function like bugs, and they eat like bugs, and they mate like bugs. You know, roaches fuck like crazy, and so do the aliens. But I showed you the tape on there's a tape on my YouTube somewhere out there that shows alien sex, and if you go to it, it's very strange. It's very strange. You'll notice the difference right away. But, I don't know. I'm just saying. Don't count me out. Don't count me out. Yeah. I'm still fighting. I'm still playing. I see this as playing, but you think I'm fighting. I see it as playing. Like playing a video game, you know. Are you fighting on the video game when you're playing? Sure, your character is killing everybody in sight, but you're having fun. You're playing, and I'm playing, and my character is killing everybody in sight. So in a way, it's the same. Like Call of Duty. My granddad's auto. You know, beating the shit out of you, and you're. Like fighting you and playing you against you is like shooting fish in a barrel. You don't stand a chance with me. You don't stand a chance in the world. I just took on the mob and they can't touch me. I could walk right into the soccer club and shake everybody's hand and they can't touch me. And they know it. They want it. They don't want to know it, but they know it. And they can't touch me. And they weren't at the bagel store today. I don't know if they were. They weren't there when I was there. I'll tell you that. So, you don't fuck with me. It's the last thing you want to do. I'm not setting to end life on earth and be a pussy about it. So, but like I said, not everybody dies. And some people have to, and they deserve to, Trump deserves to die if anybody deserves to die, I'm not going to kill him. God's going to kill him. God's going to give him a heart attack with a Big Mac in his mouth. He's going to be eating a Big Mac one day, have a heart attack while he's chewing on one. Or a chicken McNugget. That's going to happen. I can kill you all with one wipe of my finger, and I can end you all. But I don't. Don't because I don't need to. He does it. Let him do it. Let him take the blame. I don't need to take the blame. That's bad PR. So. But, I just, when I closed up the lotto, before I closed up the lotto, I had quit as an accountant. I gave up my career as an accountant. And all these different steps were in a vein or an effort to take down the government, to take down the world. If I owned the lottery, I would have been bigger than Musk, and much bigger. But I found out that money wasn't the way to take down the government, And I didn't take down the government with money. And I didn't take the government down with an aircraft carrier and big tanks and stuff and a big army, because that's not the way to take down the government either. It wouldn't have worked. They're armed to the teeth. You can't beat them with money. I mean, we saw in 2008, 90% of the banks collapsed, and the next day they were back in business. And there you go. So how do you beat the country with money, A hurricane like Katrina wiped out how many millions, billions of dollars? The stock market didn't even get a bleep. It was like it didn't even matter. It didn't even exist. So money wasn't the way to take down the country. The way to take down the country was through philosophy. I changed your philosophy. I made you look at this world perspective. I changed your perspective. I changed the way you look at the world. And now that you look at the world the way I look at the world, you can never look at the world the way you used to look at the world. You can't go back, because once you know someone's a rapist, you'll never send your kids over their house. If you know I'm a child molester, I'm not. If you know I'm a child molester, you're never going to send your kids over my house. I mean, not even for Halloween or Christmas, anything like that. So, once you change your perspective, you change your world. Because your world is your perspective. The way you see this world is this world to you. Not to me, but to you. This is how the world operates. Because that's your perspective. Confirmation of the wazoo, that was. So, I changed your perspective. I changed your philosophy. I changed the way you look at money. You all hate money now. You all hate your government. You all hate the mob. You all hate MS-13. You know, I can go on and on. You hate drug dealers. You hate people that sell vaping to children. You hate all the things I hate because I taught you how to look at them. And now they're not positive. You know, and you hate boys. A lot of your men are having a problem right now because you don't want to fuck them. You don't want to fuck them at all. Like, please, go back to your video game. Leave me alone. I got my Duracell over here. You know, I'm good. I want him, not you. That's why I'm going to make a flag with my face on it, so you can all fuck me, or at least think you are. Yeah, but that's how I conquered the world without firing a shot. Because I conquered the world from laying in my bed. I created a revolution from my bed. Don't look back in anger. You know, because I beat you. I didn't need handcuffs. I don't need guns. I don't need nightsticks. I don't need jail cells. I transcended all of that. I beat you with my words. I beat you with my mind. I beat you with my heart. Not my dick. Not my trigger finger. I didn't need any nukes. I let all the women be the leaders of the world. And they are, and they will be. And they'll change the world. And men will play leadership roles. Well, men will have a chance. The ones that are under 25 that live, you know. But they'll be taught how to be in charge. They won't be just given the job and saying, do what you want. Make everybody miserable. You know. Women are going to set the new systems up, and they won't be foolproof. No system is foolproof. If you try to set up a system that's foolproof, that is going to be the least foolproof system you can have. You know, your credit cards with your little chip on them, they figured them out already. You're not saving anything. You're not protecting anything with those chips. It's a joke. So, anyway, it's just, there's no fail-proof system. You know, everything's going to have a fail. But you can build the failure into it. You know, like the bridges. You ever see the bridges where they have those, the claws go into each other? That's so when it gets cold, it expands and it doesn't crack and destroy the bridge. And that's a fail. When it expands, it's a fail, but it's a natural fail, so it's really not a fail. But it's built so it doesn't destroy the bridge and buckle the bridge when it gets cold or hot, or the wind. When the wind is real strong, it moves. It has room to move. So, you know, you can still drive on it, but it's moving and it's not collapsing. And built-in failure. And that's what we're going to have with the systems that the girls are going to build, with built-in failure. As much as we can. Not, like I said, even with that system, there's no such thing as a perfect system. There's always going to be a scumbag like me that comes along and says, hey, you didn't think about that, did you? Like me. You didn't think about .com. You know a lot of .com, did you? I did, and I got it. So, you can't defend against me or anybody like me. You just got to deal with it when it happens, like you are now. Part 2.